You've been on quite the journey as of late.
Yeah, the music is tight, shit. The weed shit tight. The clothes shit tight. It's just good to diversify your shit.
100%.
And then I got the kids tapped in. Hella. I got kids writing stay busy, don't play busy on fucking whiteboards and shit in class.
It's becoming a mantra. There's been people that I didn't know knew you that are saying stay busy, don't play busy on their Instagrams.
What's so tight about that one is like, okay, so you know I got all these sayings and shit, but like, some of them be specific. There be certain, like, you have to be in a certain type of like niche vertical or something to relate. Like Glendale, you kind of have to be from Glendale to fuck with
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Skiggity, all that skirt shit. Like, you know, that has to be shit if you like cars or whatever, or fuck with me type shit.
It's kind of tiny.
Yeah, I'm just coming. But stay busy, don't play busy. What's so tight about it is that's a universal thing. And you don't have to be in music to be staying busy and not playing busy. You don't. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter what race you are. It doesn't matter what your sexual preference is. None of that shit matters. It's just like, don't fuck around with your life, man, because you don't know how much time you got left. Yeah. And this is like something that I came up with right when my mom died, because I realized, like, you know, time is something that's the only real currency that we have.
I was gonna ask what the driving force behind stay busy, don't play busy is.
My mom.
Yeah, and a lot of people out here, they do play busy. Like, you see people posting about, I'm doing this, I'm doing that.
It's not just AZ.
It's like if you had...
I feel like any local scene, if you have a drive towards the ego, you have that drive towards the ego. But it's huge in AZ. Peacocking is.
And when I say out here, I just mean out here in the fucking world, because the internet is the World Wide Web.
Okay,
I didn't mean to generalize it to AZ.
Okay.
I know people back home, like, fucking in Colorado do that shit.
I gotta call you back. I'm in the interview, gang. I'm not home, nigga. I'm in the interview. Bro,
so
I'm literally
funny.
at the studio. Fool.
Hey, I was about to say, show him the stew, bro.
Dude, I'm gonna tap it with you when I get home, nigga.
And we don't have an Xbox here.
Hey, is that DD? Is that Dylan that I know?
Nah, that's my nigga. Dude.
Oh, okay.
We play Apex Legends. That's our shit. That's our shit. I'll hit you when I get home, gang.
Gang.
I love you, fools. I'm out. Alright, be safe. Alright, so,
Yeah, we pretty much started without starting, Preme, just so you know.
No, you good. But, like, it's like you say, like, a lot of people do that shit. And when you, realize, like, and I'm not out here, like, calling people out either, because I don't know niggas' business, and I don't give a fuck. I don't care about mine, but, like, you lying to yourself playing busy just to impress motherfuckers that really don't care about you. You know what I'm saying? Like, this social media shit, we fucking...
That really...
Yeah, you're just really trying to make it look...
That's something to put emphasis on.
For other
that
people.
really don't care about you.
Don't, man.
I had such big FOMO for like a good year and a half, man. Just fear of missing out, because I would see everybody else moving and doing different shit. And then I realized, man, it's just their own little microcosm. It's their own little version, because when I have a 5-minute conversation with them, there's something already that I'm doing that, you know, would be incredibly helpful to them. And it's always going to be a vice versa thing. You know what I mean? Like, if you're actually staying consistent, there should be something in your life that only you can hold, that you can be proud of, that other people can maybe look at that as an example and build something to themselves. But I had to really distance myself from social media and other people's lifestyles to really gain confidence within myself and actually stay busy. Because when you get caught up in that, you'll instinctually want to play busy, man. You'll instinctually want to post something that's not really there.
Niggas be trying to keep up, and that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Hey, to each his own. But at the end of the day, that shit ain't gonna take care of your family, bro. That's not shit that's gonna make sure that, you know, when you gone, you have something to give to your kids or your siblings and shit. Nah, that's not it. Keeping up with these motherfuckers, you feel dumb as hell if you were trying to compete with a bunch of niggas online and you find out their real life and they broke.
Yeah.
And you was trying to keep up with this nigga.
Like, come on.
Because he takes better pictures than you and times it better. He's like, he look like his
Yeah.
shit going good for him. But
And that's what I
He's got
think
different
of.
priorities. Literally is what it comes down to.
And that's what I think of when I hear that saying. Like, a lot of people like that I know personally, you see them online, they're doing this, they're doing that, but I know what you're doing. So, like, you can't, like, say that. Like, and it's like, stay busy, don't play busy. Like, we stay busy. Like, I never post about what I'm doing. I post what I did. Like what we already did.
Hey, speak
like,
on that shit, man.
It's work. Like
I post what the fuck I did, man.
Yeah, it's not like it's a full product. This is what I'm not posting. Oh, I got something coming up in a couple months, unless it's something big. Like,
hey man,
but
right?
I haven't had anything.
Stay
like
tuned.
That for a while.
I'm about to say, stay tuned again for another
exactly.
week.
But if I say
making an announcement for an announcement,
yeah. But if
Right.
I say that, if I get an announcement, something's already finished. If Odd Squad says, okay, this is be prepared for an announcement, we already got everything else done in the background, so we're not gonna announce anything before we have an album. We're not gonna announce that we're in the process of making an album. We're
People
gonna
say
announce
out
the
loud,
album's
be prepared.
finished before we say anything about a fucking album.
People out loud run to the gram and say, be prepared before they're prepared.
Right.
For whatever event is actually happening.
They don't want to be left behind, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like,
and that was that FOMO that you had.
yeah, they don't want to be like, and it's all right because look at you, you don't have that no more.
Right.
Because I took time to progress myself. You know what I mean? That was a year and a half ago. That was before the pod. You know what I mean? That was before.
Oh yeah.
You know, that was in the midst where we weren't doing a lot of shows. You know what I mean? We weren't dropping a lot of things. I didn't really have a lot of things to my name that I could put my craft into and kind of embed my identity into.
Stay busy with.
And stay busy with, like, real talk. And it's funny, like, there's a theory that fundamentally as humans, our motivation and desire for decisions is only two things: fear and love. Every decision, every emotion, every motivation is derived essentially from fear or love. And what we're talking about is moves made off of fear. Right? Individuals seeing people seemingly or on surface achieving the things that they want to achieve within their industry or within their life, and they are making this move out of fear. They're taking this picture, they're inflating this situation, they're exaggerating this moment in hopes that you consider me parallel with whoever I'm scared of falling behind on. And when you find yourself putting time and energy consistently into something that's growing you and giving you more of an identity and more of a reason to wake up every single day, that's self-love.
Yeah. See, my motivation.
That's self-love. That's an outlet of love that you have now created that is kind of building its own energy at some point.
And it's important to have self-love. I mean, the most important thing in your whole lifetime. Because how can you love anything else if you don't love yourself? And honestly, like, you gotta keep yourself motivated. Like, I guess I'm like lucky and blessed. My motivation comes from my siblings, my kids, my family. I'm extremely family oriented. I got a big ass family, and I'm the oldest. You know what I mean? And like, I'm like the leader. You know, like right behind my grandma and my dad. That it was me. You know what I'm saying? And like, they're not always gonna be here. And like,
Right.
I have to, I had to pick up a lot of slack when my mom left. You know, and
When the matriarchy falls, man, it's hard.
it's hard, but if you really a king, you gotta know, like, that journey ain't easy. There's no fucking king that had an easy ass journey. Everything, that shit is hard. Niggas want to be kings and girls want to be queens and shit. Like, it take work to have those titles. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise,
It takes misery.
it takes pain.
It takes concentrated misery.
A lot of shit.
It's heavy as a head that holds a crown.
For real.
Like I was like, what you're saying. I'm very like family oriented, and I just had a big weekend when all my family came out here, and
That's hard.
like I finally had a moment. Like I did the engagement, the proposal, and everything, and on Wednesday I finally had a moment. It's like I feel exactly what you're saying. Like why do I have to carry all this weight? Like I feel like I'm the youngest out of my family, but I'm that one that everybody's I'm the leader.
Right.
Like everybody looks to me.
That's the same for me.
So
I'm
it's
the youngest.
We in like you're saying, it's not easy.
Because we have chances to, like, save our whole families, bro. Everybody don't get chances like that.
Right.
Or maybe everybody does, but something happens and they miss it.
That's
they don't realize that that's
my
their
take
chance.
on everything.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. It is a universal lie. One of the biggest universal lies is the idea of your opportunity passing. I think that is a huge not true thing that has been delivered into society to keep us in a loop. And let me explain. Because
Yeah, elaborate.
at the end of the day, bro, I have fucked up a lot. Let's just keep it music, right? I've had a lot of opportunities that I can 100% say that I've spoiled. Either because at that time I was too immature, I had the lack of professionalism, I had the lack of follow through, whatever the case may be, right? Maybe I just wasn't even the personality type at that point to take on that role. But every single artist, including you two, I'm sure you can think of stories of opportunities that was like, man, if I'd have literally tweaked it this certain way, freaked it this certain way, I would be a fucking millionaire right now. And
but that don't mean that you're not gonna be a millionaire.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
There's no
and we look at these,
You know what I'm saying?
and we look at these opportunities like, oh man. But guess what? Like we're talking about, a year and a half ago, I didn't have this podcast. You know what I mean? A year ago, 6 months ago,
Ready for this podcast.
100%. 6 months ago, you didn't have half the opportunities that you have building behind the scenes.
Hell no.
And it's because, and there's the myth, right? People see this as like this one-stop train, and then once that train goes, they never go back to the fucking bus stop. There will be an unlimited amount of opportunity for you to do what you want to do. The moment you give up is the moment that train stops showing up. The moment you stop showing up to the bus stop is the moment that train stops coming.
Yeah, God gonna lob you a bunch of times. Like, hey, I set all this shit up for you. So if you don't do it, you can't blame me. Because I gave you all of the setup. You know what
I'm telling you, 100%.
For real, and I really know that because just like you said, you know, you learn from mistakes. Like, and hopefully everybody does. You know what I'm saying? But some opportunities you won't get again. You know,
Hey, I believe
you only get one first impression in every
Right,
situation.
yeah, every
you can't
situation.
get that shit back. You know what I'm saying? So like, a lot of it is making sure you're prepared for when shit comes to, and like,
correct.
Cause like, you know, I'm sure y'all can relate. Like, and I feel like that about everybody, even up to the top with Futuristic too. Everybody
believe
is underdogs out here because we don't have a mainstream like acknowledgement for our state, right? And the benefit of us being the underdog state is that like no one's gonna see us coming. You know what I mean? No one's prepared for how we coming either, cause it's so diverse and shit.
Absolutely.
So like, we put a lot of pressure on.
We don't have a
ourselves.
box.
Like we're about to dismiss this opportunity, but motherfucker, none of us. We're not even there yet. We're all just getting there. All of us in different ways are getting there. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Like, we just gotta be as prepared as possible for when we finally get the light that we want to be able to like showcase. Like, yeah, we've been ready. We've been out here going hard for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got our shit on lock.
Like,
you know what
everybody's developed by time. Whenever that time is, the time is gonna fucking come.
It is,
to
man.
where it's blown up, and then they look into all the fucking good ass developed artists that are already
Facts.
out.
It's like,
This is gonna be like the next Atlanta.
Facts.
100%.
Like, facts. It's like I
Next
like what you were
Atlanta,
saying
next
too.
Cali, all that shit.
shit.
But the first AZ, you know what
First-
I mean?
first Phoenix.
And like, it's tight because where's my fucking lighter? It's tight. I got it. It's tight because a lot of people have made, you know what I'm saying, moves to get more attention on us, but no one's like solidified that spot yet. So it's like it's wide open. You know, we all are still finding out what our like actual markets are and who our real fans are and shit. I learned that shit with my clothes. Like, you know, when shows stop, you had to find different ways to like keep it going and shit. And like,
Right.
I don't believe in one like form of income. No man can live like that, especially family man.
Especially not in this day and age.
Yeah, there's no possible way.
You know what I mean?
We
We are in
super fire ass one
Yeah.
income that you pay, and even then you go want to diversify your shit.
Yeah.
Now I don't
any
know.
Because you
income is
can't
going to
just
grow.
rely on one thing, because
Right.
everything could end in
And
one
any
day.
natural income, if it's in a state of perpetual growth, it will naturally create more streams of income just off of its magnitude. You know what I mean? Like, if you just focus on hip hop, eventually somebody's just gonna want you to host their shit. Eventually somebody's just gonna want you to pay to stand in their fucking building. And guess what? That is now a completely new stream that I'm making off my silhouette because of my fucking hip hop.
Eventually, your fans are gonna be like, "Yo, why don't you fucking sell merch?" Boom. Then you're in the clothes line.
100%.
For real.
Yeah.
And you just gotta pay attention and like, and even like back to the merch shit. That helped me identify my market, cause I was like focused on a certain type of person, I guess I would say. But when I linked up with Farrell, my brother James and shit, like he showed me like, bro, you got so many fans in the extreme sports, skating, like scooter, rollerblades, like that whole community loves you
Yeah.
crazy. You know, you've never even catered to them. And I don't gotta change who I am because that is who I am. You know what I'm
100%.
saying? So when I started like putting myself out there to that, you know, then we start seeing shit I've never seen before, like me selling out of my merch drops in like fucking
100%.
3 days, or like a bigger drop in a week and shit.
I want to expand on that. Not only the movements that you've been making with Pharrell, but also the psychology behind that and the bridge of that demographic, because I feel like that's important to touch on. But before we do that, because we getting now we neck deep. This is where we like to go.
I like the way we do this. If you don't know who I am, I go by the A-Factor. I am 1/4 of the Odd Squad family.
That is not a lie at all. You said that a
facts,
couple
big
times.
facts.
My name is Intellect. I am 1/3 of New Age Politics.
And what you are listening to, what you are experiencing right now, what you are watching out there on YouTube, is what we like to call the A
Is for
A podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
human horses,
And beautiful beings,
sentience all around us, taking it in.
carbon-based and happy-faced people.
Absolute.
If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, make sure you leave a review and give us 5 stars. Give us anything less than that. You may or may not be a hater, but we
Give us
love
your
you
favorite story
either way.
about us while intermixing a lot of compliments. I feel like is a good way to go about it.
And if you're watching this on YouTube, you already know what we need right now. We need some BTE, some big thumb energy
Right now,
on that motherfucking video.
you have thumbs. Every single
Well,
I'm not gonna judge. All right.
I know somebody that doesn't
For
have thumbs.
the people that don't have thumbs, you have something that can press a thumb. So press it right now.
Hopefully, yeah.
Get it handled. BTE.
Yeah, we need all
It's
of
all
that.
love.
Yeah, and we have a very special guest. I love the way that we do this. Like you get to know the person before you even know the name.
Right.
You know,
Names are just a title upon this surface, all right? We're getting to know a little bit deeper
deeper than
to the creature next to us right here. This man, in my perspective, needs no introduction, but for everybody who is not living in the Arizona state, this is Skirtus Mayfield, a.k.a. Skirt Angle, a.k.a.
Skirtus Blow.
Skirt God, a.k.a. Skirtus Blow, a.k.a.
Skirt Cobain.
Dela Preme, ladies and gentlemen.
yes, sir.
What's good with y'all?
We don't have a.
Yeah, I'm gonna clap. We gotta keep it authentic. Everybody else has a little clap track. You need my hand energy, all right?
Man, I appreciate y'all.
Huge blessings for us that you're
Y'all had
even
us
on
out
this
the gate. We
pod.
was talking about some real shit right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
It's not gonna stop.
Conversation's supposed to go though.
Yeah, it's not gonna stop, man.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Very, very happy to have you on this pod. You are an incredibly busy person, so to take time out of your Sunday is a beautiful thing, man.
Stay
Thank you
busy,
so much.
don't play busy.
Make
Yeah.
time. You gotta make time. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all for real. It's love. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
man.
Of course. We were talking about your clothing line, the way you've been going about expanding and diversifying your streams of income as an artist. And this was a huge transition for you for COVID. You were running a show a week for up to 2 years, one of the most consistent artists in Arizona. And
Shit is crazy. I was able to pay all my bills, take care of I got 4 kids. I was able to take care of my kids. You know what I'm saying?
that's no joke.
Help
Yeah.
my granny, all that shit. You know, cause streaming is fire. Like it's cool getting them checks from distro. It's cool getting them. You know, it's cool getting all that. But you gotta find.
It's overtime.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And like,
It's overtime.
and it was. I went from like how I started when I was like way younger. Cause I went through the whole process. I went from like paying for shows to like nobody knowing me to going on tour in different states, like 17 different states and nobody knowing.
I was about to say playing to like 6 niggas in Colorado and shit. I just random.
Bruh, my first
Salute.
show, my first big show out of state. So this tour we took with Tribunal. Salute to my brothers, man. Salute to Eddie, Lamar. You know what I'm saying? My nigga Sonny J.
Great group of people.
Salute to Salty Brazi.
Shoot to Larry. Yeah, that
That's
homie
my
Larry.
Bro, that's my brother. Salute to Charlie. Like a lot of these people I met for real during that time on this tour and shit. You know,
Gibby.
Shout out to my nigga Plex. Gibby's from the hood, so that was nothing. We from the same hood, so I knew Gibby. You know what I mean? Like shout out to Ritter, shout out to my nigga Gibby. But
Yeah, man. Give me the plug.
like that shit. I remember my first show. We were in New Mexico, bro, and they made the stage out of like those plastic crates that you hold glasses in.
Big flex.
And they put like a carpet over it. It is like
Yeah.
4 of them, nigga. And like I remember,
They underestimated y'all.
but, like, we funded our own
You're not gonna break
tour
the
and shit.
stage.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So like, that Larry hadn't seen me perform before when he booked me on. He was going off the strength of like everybody who was on it, like saying
They were just vouching for you.
Put Preme on this shit. You know what I'm saying? Which is love to all y'all for real, and I'll never like let that shit go.
That's crazy.
Because that's like it's.
I had no idea about that.
But if you know this man, plastic crates and carpet, that ain't
straight up.
That ain't gonna hold him.
Yeah, so Larry being who Larry is, you gotta show Larry some shit, bro. He ain't just gonna go off what everybody's saying, like, cause he has like he's really like transparent. He like what he like, and he don't like what he don't like. You know what I'm saying? So this nigga Larry had me going first.
And hold up, I want to pause you right there. Yeah. This is the part where that visual pauses and I interject, right? Yeah. Little side note, Preme there are venues in Arizona that have to redo their structural integrity because it was thoroughly tested to the point where we could have set off a Richter scale with what we did.
I remember
the floor was bending.
Yeah, we could have hurt a lot of people. I'm glad nobody got hurt. But like,
the floor was bending in that venue.
They stopped hip hop shows for 3 months after that shit. Shout out to Justice, that's my brother. Shout out to John Blaze and shit. But yeah, like
yeah, big time, man.
We
RTU.
fucked that shit up. You know what I mean? Like, I love doing shows. I love fucking up house parties, any stage, any amount of people, because it really don't matter. Because once I grab that mic, I leave my body.
Correct. You know and I just wanted to give that little disclaimer in here. So now we rewind back to milk crates and this man being the first performance out.
Yeah, so like, he had me going first. Because you want to see what's up. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, all right, I'll go first. You know what I mean? And I'm not going front. I felt some kind of way. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, nigga.
Of course.
I'm nice, nigga. But he didn't know that. And that's a lesson for life. Y'all got to know that shit. Everybody know who the fuck you are. You got to prove yourself. Sometimes you got to prove yourself every time.
You got to know yourself.
Know who you are. And
know thyself.
And don't be ashamed of it. Just keep earning your shit. You know what I'm saying?
And don't be a fucking dick about it. Don't be arrogant. Like you took that first slot. How many people that have that talent?
Fuck no,
like,
nigga. I ain't
fuck
opening.
that.
I ain't going first. All right, nigga, you ain't going nowhere else either. You know what I'm saying? I promise you. You know what I'm saying? And that's a fact. But like,
that's big facts.
Yeah, so he put me on. That's when the Million Nights came out. That's when I had Drop Rise of the Black Lion. And I did my set, and like, Larry, that's my nigga. After that shit, I never went first. I always went last.
Hell
always
yeah.
Closed out. It was either me or Eddie and Lamar, and like for the rest of the tour.
I can't imagine. That would have probably been one of the most legendary faces that would have ever been in Earth existence. You know what I mean? Because like that's a funny situation.
Larry, man. He like a light skinned Diddy and shit. That's why he always like he's always
Larry's money minded.
Yeah, like you know, like leaders, you got to keep a council. I have a deep council. I got my brother Sully. I got my girl. You know, I got you know, the rest of my family. And I got like my big brothers like Larry, you know what I'm saying, like Freeze, like Chief, like John Blaze, like Justice even, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
A lot of the big head leaders are people who are super instrumental in my life and my career. Even Trap, God rest his soul, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'll never forget how Trap treated me in Delhi. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's why I'm so close to Delhi too. Another reason, because like I remember
y'all shared that with them.
And like he was on us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, because we have a responsibility, it's bigger than us.
Yes.
Like, sometimes you run from wanting to embrace that leadership and realizing where you stand. It's hard for me to take compliments and shit. I'm just like, I'm not a fake humble nigga. I'm just really like, I'm just like, because I be looking at everybody like, nigga, we all human, bro.
Yeah,
like,
that's exactly what I'm saying.
Chill, bro. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Don't put me on kind of pedestal, nigga. I'm right here, nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. We cool, bro. Chill. Don't do all that shit because, you know.
The pedestals are what you make. But also, too, I feel like there needs to be a welcoming of pedestals. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because when a pedestal is made with ego in mind, that's when it becomes toxic. Yeah. But when a pedestal is made just out of respect and appreciation, then you can then elevate that person who elevated you. Yeah. You know, and speaking of people who were instrumental in your game, the owner of Feral, you've known for quite some time now, and you just started recently making collaborations to get your merch game in. I mean, how was your relationship with him?
I haven't even known Feral that long.
Really?
Y'all want to know some deep shit?
Yeah, because I assumed y'all have, because through prior conversations that you and I have had, y'all have spoken you've gotten close.
It's been we have a couple years under our belt now.
Okay.
But I want everybody to know this shit. Like, I judge a person on the moves that I make with them. Because, like, all the shit we've been saying before, we got families, you know what I mean? So, like, if you in any type of way contributed to me, like, putting food and like putting shit towards my kids and my siblings and helping
Right.
my family, I'm gonna hold you at a certain level in my life. You know what I'm saying? So like, me and Farrell, we clicked, and he's like, I have people in my life that keep me on my shit. Because I have a lot of shit going on, so I can't always focus on everything.
Correct.
And I've learned, you know, as everybody should, time management is everything.
Yeah.
It's fucking everything. It'll save your life, you know what I mean? So, like, sometimes you need those people who can teach you shit that you didn't know about. Yeah, I've always been making clothes. I've always had, you know what I'm saying, gear. Shout out to Mark and shit. Everybody knows how that shit, I've always had something going for myself and shit, but never like my own clothing line business type shit. And Farrell taught me that. And, like, we just... the way we click and the way we like crank out ideas and shit, because we have a team of designers. Like I'm deep,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So like
100%.
we like throw meetings.
You got a board that you can
Yeah.
reflect and throw
Real
and
shit,
bounce
you know
ideas
what I'm
off
saying?
of.
We don't just, we all agree on everything. We don't ever say, you know, just like I am with Sully, I don't put out music unless me and Sully agree on that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I'm big on my counsel because you need that shit.
Yeah.
You know, none of us little bro each other. None of us.
Dela Preme is not you.
Yeah, it's big.
It's a
Thank
brand.
you. That's the fucking brand. It's a business. You know
Dela
what I'm
Preme has
saying?
never been you.
Nah.
You're Mark Stewart.
Thank
You know what I mean?
you. You
Like,
know what I'm
Dela
saying?
Preme has never been you.
Yeah, that's a whole business. You know what I'm saying?
Dela Preme is an entity. You know what I mean?
That shit's gonna save my family's life, so and make sure that we straight and I have businesses to give to my kids when I'm gone and shit, so they ain't gonna have to work for nobody unless they
Right.
choose to. You know what I mean? And like,
Absolutely.
and I always give them that decision themselves, but we gonna be straight because like how I grew up, you know, and we weren't hella poor because my mom and my dad went hard.
They
You know
hustled.
what I mean? They went hardest. My mama went hard as fuck, and my daddy went
I
hard
always
as fuck.
felt like I was in the eye of a storm growing up. You know, like my environment was calm. Every once in a while, something would slip through. You know what I mean? Like we'd be sitting on the couch watching TV and someone would bust through the back door, you know, bleeding out because someone's after him and shit like that. We had to like fucking patch him up and threaten his life. You know what I mean? Like every once in a while, little shit like that would happen. But like I would still have a Christmas. I would still have
Always.
my first day of school would have clothes. I would still have a birthday. You know what I mean? I was in the eye of a storm, and I realized that the more I grew up, it's part of the reason why I despised Christmas growing up, because I knew the jug that would go down for me to have a Christmas. My mom was relentless, so I didn't want to ask for shit because I knew what I was asking for, actually. And it was a hard situation, but I was in the eye of a fucking storm. There was so much chaos that happened around me. And what I realized with that mentality is I ended up kind of taking that with me everywhere I went. Everybody in my life was with the shits or around the shits and wanted to do everything but fucking protect me. It was the weirdest thing in the world. And then when I came out to Arizona, I was on my own and had to protect myself. But like all my mentors, all my people, I was around the craziest fucking shit, but I was never a part of the craziest shit. Right. I would help. I would fucking, you know, if somebody needed an extra set of hands, if somebody needed an extra mind, I was there. But because I was there, I was protected. You know what I mean? Like it was weird, but it's almost like, I don't know. I had a weird value in my hood. You know what I mean?
I understand where that comes from, because like you know, we weren't poor, but like we weren't rich. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like I still like we live in the hood. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I had like a different type of upbringing. Like I've always been like an intelligent type of person who wants to learn shit all the time. I like to like soak up game. You know, I don't like to just ever be like stagnant. And it got me into a private school. I went to Brophy for high school.
Right.
It's a prestigious high school. You know what I'm saying? College prep school, one of the most prestigious
Which is a very authentic experience to have in your life
I
among that chaos.
Crazy. People don't know I never experienced racism until I was in high school.
Damn.
My whole life, I grew up, you know what I'm saying, with Mexicans.
Wait a second. Pause that. You grew up and you were a Glendale baby. You grew up in Glendale, Arizona. Anybody who passed through Glendale can understand what I'm talking about.
Right.
And you didn't experience prejudice or racism until you entered into a private high school.
And you know what I'm saying? And I have friends to this day that are my friends for life from high school, that are my brothers that I'm partners with. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I had to learn a lot when I went to high school. Literally the day I got accepted and shit, I thought I tried to tank, but like I couldn't, because like I'm not stupid. So I passed, you know. They go and search.
You ain't gonna lie.
I'm not.
You're not gonna lie on your intelligence. If you know the answer, you know it.
You gotta prove that you're like you good enough to go there. And like my family, like I said, we ain't rich, so I had to like do financial aid to work there. I had to like it's like college for real. So like
tuition.
Oh yeah, you had to get in. It's an acceptance.
Study, bro. I had to like pick up trash at sporting events. You know what I'm saying? Be a waiter at auctions for rich people and shit. It's crazy, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like people don't understand what it's like to go through some shit like that. But like,
especially like when you're like in high school, if you never experienced
really
something like that in like racism and then like in the position that you're in too, like so you're black, this is what you got to do to make it.
Because like in Glendale and shit, you know, you got different races. We got people from the Middle East, people from Africa. You know what I'm saying? People from Asia. You know what I'm saying? We got black people who are here. We got Latinos, obviously, because we're in Arizona and shit. You know what I'm saying? People from Bosnia, like everywhere, bro. A mesh of people. We are all forced to be around each other, so it's kind of hard to be hella prejudiced when you got to see these niggas at the basketball court every fucking day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like,
it's like I can't be prejudiced because I know you have hands over me, or I can't be prejudiced because nigga you helped me out yesterday,
nigga.
nigga.
I'm gonna give you them hands, bro. Honestly, my shit when I came up before even high school went up. Like the reason why I'm so tapped in and the reason why I have so much love for Latinos and shit is because, bro, I have a lot of family that are like to this day because like they embrace me and my brothers, and like. We didn't have nobody that was like holding us down like that. You know what I'm saying? Like the reason why I even have Spanglish and be speaking Spanish or any of that shit is because that's what was my part of my upbringing. You know what I mean? And like my parents didn't teach us about like you can't fuck with them because of what race they are, none of that shit. Like my dad is hella mixed. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
He's hella mixed. Like that nigga couldn't even try to do that shit to me. Like, cause I'll roast his ass. Like, nigga, what the fuck? You hate yourself and shit? All that
I was
stuff,
about to say, did you wake up different today?
Right.
Yeah,
so
shit.
like, you know. We go to high school and there's obviously a lot more Caucasians and like, which I didn't have a problem with, but it's a separation of classes. These kids are like rich, fool.
Yeah, like crazy
these kids
rich.
will like get extreme DUIs and crash like fucking $350,000 cars, and their dad will buy them another one next week.
Yeah, like the shit they I only see it on
wild.
TV.
You know
and
what
shit.
I'm
Like
saying?
I know of kids like back like, cause I'm from Colorado, so. Especially back then, it was mostly fucking white people. So I experienced racism like in the fucking third grade.
But it
like,
also
was the first
told me,
time.
bro,
Like,
you can't judge a book by its cover.
That's
my
true.
nigga, because
Right.
how am I gonna judge you about financial decisions that your parents or grandparents made that my grandparents and parents didn't make or have the opportunity to? I can't hate you for that, nigga.
I'm in the process of doing that for my kids right now.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
want my kids to have a
Yeah,
fucking
I
silver
can't-
spoon. How could I be mad at somebody
Right.
else?
You know what
I
I'm
also
saying?
feel like bad for those people in that situation because
That is
I
another
think like
phrase that's
it
built
builds
up by
more
society
like nobody can
to
say
keep
for
us in
sure,
the
but I
loop.
think it builds character, like going through everything
people-
that we have to go through.
What it taught
Not
me is
growing up rich.
It's not about the fucking money. It's not about like who has a better financial situation or nothing. Everybody goes through shit in a different way, and there's no way you can act like your shit is worse than.
And there's no way you can avoid shit.
It is about your
No
parents.
matter
Going
what
back to what we were
environment
talking
you're in.
about, it's about who, like the people you're surrounded. What are they teaching you? Because there's super rich kids that were born with a silver spoon that are super down to earth. Like you can't just
Facts.
generalize.
Bro, I have friends that are rich as
All
fuck.
right, I'll say that
You
for
never know though, because they're humble and their parents raised them right. You don't act
Yeah.
like you don't fucking talk down to nobody. You don't do that because motherfucker, we cannot have none of this shit. And you would never know, bro.
Good people
100%.
are fucking good people no matter
Like then
what.
you have people who just get a little bit. They motherfucking some shit on people with a little bit of money. It's not about the brand. It's about the mentality. It's about how you think. You know what I'm saying?
And a lot of the individuals, from my experience, most of the individuals who have found themselves in generational wealth. I'm not just talking about fast bread. I'm here. I'm rich right now. They know for a fact generations are comfortable. Once you've reached generational wealth, those individuals are having equal conversations with everybody. You can literally see based off their character because they've reached the point where, you know, Gary Vee will have a conversation in a motherfucker in sweatpants. It doesn't matter. It's dependent on how that person presents themselves and the environment in which they're having that conversation. Obviously, if it's a business meeting and he's in sweatpants, fuck off, my guy. But like, if it's a situation to where you just find yourself here, a lot of those individuals don't place judgment on those people. We expect them
Who the fuck
to.
are you to judge anybody?
Yeah, we expect them
Like,
to.
who the fuck are you?
Because
That's
there's a
what
negative
they
connotation towards the rich, but it's not a real
Then
thing.
you gotta look at yourself like, who the fuck am I to judge anybody? Like, I don't know what you go through every day. I don't have to walk in your shoes every day. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the fuck happens as soon as we stop seeing each other.
Yeah.
Because, you know, people present themselves a certain way for the other people. You don't know what they're battling. Some people get really good at putting up a strong mask. And with fathers, I know y'all know exactly about that. Black fathers is that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And, bro, like, and the only reason why I bring up racism is because it showed me that I had racism. And I have and now some of my closest friends, like my brothers, like blood could make us thicker, are Caucasian blood. And you know what I'm saying? So like that shit don't matter. I don't teach my kids that shit. But like I didn't even know I was like that till it was coming at me, and I got defensive, and I started being on the offensive because I'm here for 4 years. I can't leave here because my grandma had to put a second mortgage on her house to get me to go here. You know what I'm saying? We just moved from a nicer,
that's reality.
A nicer kind of neighborhood to a really fucked up neighborhood in Glendale just so I can get through high school. I can't fuck this up. If I fuck this up, that was all for nothing. That was for nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna let none of that shit fuck because it's bigger than me. You feel me? And like when you are like on some other shit, cause all my homies going to public school. They're either going to Apollo, Alhambra, you know what I'm saying, Glendale High School, or Central, you know what I'm saying, even in Phoenix, cause like I had a lot of homies. I was in Phoenix a lot too, and not just Glendale and shit. I was all over. I'm an Arizona baby, for real. And like when you come home, cause I'm learning shit, crazy shit every day, every year. You know what I'm saying? Like
every day.
The way I articulate myself is different now. It's not the same how we were before. You know what I'm saying? So I come back to the hood and they want to test my G because like I'm sounding like a nerd and a geek and shit. So I'm always having to scrap. I'm always having to prove myself and shit. But I was good for it because it made me who I am. And like now, like I'm where I am.
Pressure.
Salute to my hood. Y'all know what's up. No, anyway.
No, man. I mean, and like, it's such a beautiful thing because you were forged through fire. You had a lot of pressures on you because people bet on you. And you had people bet on you early, and that's so important to have. It's so important to put a little bit of pressure on that individual, not because, pressure makes a diamond, but because we recognize the diamond in you already.
Yeah. And we're going to push you.
We're betting on you. You know what I mean? Like
bet the fucking house.
They bet the fucking house on you, Preme, because they understood your potential as a person. They understood the characteristics that were just naturally flowing through you. But because of that, it built your thought to action gap. You know what I mean? Like the thought to action gap is the time it takes for you to have a thought and say, you know what, that would be cool if I actually did that, to the point where you're actually implementing a physical step. You know what I mean? You were put in so many situations to where it forced your thought to action gap to happen because you had certain pressures. You couldn't be lazy on this test. You couldn't be lazy on this basketball team. You couldn't have you couldn't take this L from the squad because you knew what this meant. You knew what this meant, and that pressure built your thought to action gap.
It's like how knights carry their family crest, or like how a samurai carries the honor of his family. You know what I'm saying?
It's honor.
If I fuck that shit up, man, I might as well just not be here.
Yeah. It's like that shit.
What are you doing here then? Yeah. People miss that pressure.
I wouldn't change it for nothing though.
People really miss that pressure.
I wouldn't change how hard high school was and having to go home because nigga, I didn't live in high school. I had to go home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's cool in high school. That shit like
high school. Well, it was no dorms. Nigga, I had to go home.
You know what I'm saying? I had to work in high school. You know what I'm saying? I got kicked out when I was 16 because I was a little dumbass. Like I was a little hardhead ass nigga because having always proved myself, you know what I'm saying?
You were walking in a lot of different worlds. Yeah. You had your feet in a lot of different worlds.
Most detrimental
parts of my life.
And you couldn't let the hood ass nigga test you either.
Nah, right. And like I feel like when you feel like you always getting tested all the time, it makes you mad defensive.
Right.
And it makes you like come into this like shell where you feel like you're alone. I remember that day coming home and like all my clothes was in the bag in front of my crib. My mom just looking at my dad's like, get your ass up out of here. You know, nigga, I slept at a park and shit. You ever sleep at a park and like you can't go to sleep because you don't know if you'll wake up and someone take all your shit.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? And we was wilding like me and like.
Big shouts out to Game Farm Park. Big shouts out to Game Farm Park, bro. Game Farm Park has saved my life more than a couple times, man.
And like I was mad when I was young, but my dad was right for that shit because I was fucking wilding, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm running with all my brothers and shit in Glendale, all my homies and shit. They all banging. You know what I mean? Like all of us. And like,
right.
You know, I'm doing dumb shit with them. You know. Shit that I know damn well that it's gonna fuck up and bring heat to my family. You know what I'm saying? My life could have been gone hella times. And like if my dad would have kept me at the crib, I would have brought danger to my house. You know what I'm saying? It's danger at the time that I wouldn't have been able to like defend them for real. Why should I even bring them into all that? They ain't out here doing this stupid ass shit. You know what I'm saying? And like it made me become like a man for real, because now I'm out here, nigga. Oh, you talking all that shit. Now you don't got us to fall back on like that. Go do that shit, then. Go be all that shit. You sit here trying to throw in our faces shit. And I still had to go to school, nigga, because I still have that on my back. Like, yo, I can't just drop out. You know what I'm saying? Nigga,
For what? Right.
When I was 17 years old, right when I turned 17, I moved to Matthew Henson, them fucking houses on Central and like Buckeye Road next to the next to where the first Lolo's is at. I used to work there.
Right. And nigga, that's the thick.
When I was 17.
Yeah. That's the thick, bro.
Crib, you know what I'm saying? Thinking I'm the shit. And like, it was cool, but like, you know, it just taught me like, hey, it's real out here. And
no one's gonna save you.
I didn't go back to my parents' house. Cause I was like mad and shit. You know, I
yeah,
was like
you had that pride.
Shit. I was like, fuck it, you know. I pulled up and I would just drop money on my brothers and sisters.
So at 16,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
so at 16,
I've never told nobody.
You're living on your own.
For real.
Yeah, and it's a fascinating story, bro.
Nobody know this shit. All this shit make me who I am. You know
yeah,
what I'm
like
saying?
that's like you were saying, your dad was.
It's
right.
a fascinating
like,
story.
Now you're in the father mindset. You understand that, like,
that shit humble.
he was right for that, because especially like all the shit that we've been talking about, they seen you were the one. So he's like, how could you, like, all your brothers could fuck up, like, but you can't fucking have this fucking situation, like. You're gonna hold us all up, whether you realize it or not, whether you like it or not. This is what your responsibility is.
We all sacrificing shit for you. You out here doing stupid shit.
Yeah, exactly.
About to throw it all away. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What the fuck is you doing?
And
how can we take your life more
mentality.
serious than you?
And they can't.
They can't.
And you only gotta
you need to learn that.
Your grandma cried so many times before you realize you gotta get your shit together and stop fucking playing. You know what I'm saying?
How did you emotionally balance yourself between those worlds? Because that's something, especially if you are, I mean, you're at a pivotal time, and you're 16 years old. You're just understanding yourself and the characteristics that you appreciate about yourself, and maybe the characteristics that you want to work on. Your ego is fucking full force at 16. How are you, and you're among other unbelievable egos, right? Because you're in that high school, you're seeing these different tax brackets, you're coming home, you're seeing the disparity between the two. How did you balance?
Older kids, older niggas in the hood, never niggas my age.
Right.
Yeah. I was never like the one that kick it with niggas my age. I don't know. Niggas that are my age just weren't on shit. They just weren't wearing.
I've always been the same, because I'm the youngest, so I've only had older brothers. I kicked it with,
you know what I'm saying?
even now, like Matt and Snowman and those are like the few people that are younger than me, and it's not even by that much. Like, we're like the same age, basically.
I'm thirsty for knowledge, bro.
Yeah.
If I'm thirsty for anything in life, it is soaking game. You know what I'm saying? So who better to take it from the niggas who experienced it before me?
Exactly.
You know
So do you think the balance came from concentration? You know what I mean? Like, maybe you just didn't have time to think about the balance of emotions between the two worlds because you had simply so much to fucking do.
Yeah, I didn't have time to sit there and think about that shit, because the day you slip up, you homeless. You know, and like they really weren't my grandma wasn't letting me stay and shit. I was like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't about to bring that shit back to the house because we have 6 other kids to worry about.
Right.
And, you know, we already did what we did for you.
And what's crazy is at this point in time, they recognize who you are. So not only is it the fact that you bring your personality, but they know how impressionable you are to the other kids. You would poison the well. It doesn't matter how fast you would improve. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter how fast you would improve, nigga. They already have rabies. Like,
that's a fact, man.
Yeah, at that point it was the best thing for you to get out of the house.
There's the light and dark side to being that personality. You know what I mean? You're either the leader or you're the martyr. Either way, you're a message. You know what I mean? Like, you're the leader or you're the martyr.
And then, like, when you realize it's bigger than you, you stop fucking up. So I started embracing my leadership, started doing things that were like a lot more constructive with my time instead of wilding. And like, I started like rapping and battle rapping. And that's how I stopped doing dumb shit. Is I started like doing dumb shit in my hood, like, you know, and I was like, I wanted to change them shit. At the time, that's exactly what I wanted to do, and there was reasons why I had to do what I had to do. But like, I had to start putting that energy towards some other shit. So I would start battling for my hood in other places. Like, we bet money, they all come out and shit. We all, you know, there's no security, there ain't no contracts. We're really out there, you know what I'm saying? And like, that battle tested me again. Here's a whole nother challenge, you know what I'm saying? I freestyled all that shit. I didn't know how to write. I didn't know how to write. My nigga Matt Hayes taught me how to write. Matt went to Brophy. Hayes went to Brophy. That's my brother.
So that's how you met Matt Hayes, bro.
Brother, you know
that makes all the fucking sense, man. It really does.
Hey, that's my brother. He's been my brother since we was freshmen and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
For real. And like, he taught me how to write, bro. And like I started writing bars, and then Sully, I've known Sully since 7th grade. And you know, I went to Brophy, Sully went to Central, so we didn't really get to kick it or link like that in high school. We was in different worlds. But after we got out of high school, Sully,
That's wild.
Yeah.
Because I only know you and Sully as like conjoined twins. That's all I really know. Is like y'all share a torso. That's it.
It is. That sounds like.
Like y'all fucking share a torso.
Yeah, I'll do anything for John. That's my dog. But fucking, yeah, he had got his degree and shit, and like he's a real audio engineer. He was recording at his crib, and he had a little studio set up. The mic was in his closet. His clothes are all hanging up in there and shit. Yeah, and the room was like in the room with his bed and stuff. Like, so he had a little desk right here and a laptop right here, and the cord going to the closet.
So so hold on. This is some gold shit. So you started with Sully next to the bed. The mic was in the closet with the clothes around it.
No space. Like,
If you wanna take the time, people, right now,
yeah, it's like
if you wanna,
this much space, bro. Big ass bed, him and Katie. Like his desk,
Wild.
laptop, cord in the closet, shut the closet, mic stand, clothes, pop filters, sound crispy, and I was just spitting on that shit.
Hell
You know what I'm
yeah.
right now, ladies and gentlemen, if you even want to pause this podcast and go look, or when you're done here, go look up Sullivan Audio. He just posted a recent picture of his setup, and you'll see the progression. It's very similar to the room that we're in right now.
proud of him. Literally,
You know, that's pretty incredible.
And I'm sure there was a lot of people. Like I started off like in the exact same setup,
100%.
basically. Like that's
My
where
first-
we all
my first
started.
mic had a sock over it.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Like,
my first mic had a tube sock over it for the pop, the pop stopper.
let's go.
You know what I'm saying?
That
Like,
shit's fire, bro.
it was unbelievable and surreal to hear my music in the car ride away from the studio session.
Right.
That was the first time I heard myself outside of myself, and it was like that right there was a day that will live forever in my life. You know what I mean? Like that's a memory that I can walk through so vividly, man. I could even route that drive back home, and I'm terrible with directions just because like that was such a monumental moment for me. You know, the first time I heard myself on wax.
That's
Crazy, man.
Isn't it
Definitely.
dope when you know you really got like years and years and shit? We got moved. I'm pretty sure out there was here got a decade of this shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
At what point throughout this transition, so you had a lot of different hats. You were playing basketball at one point.
Nah, not even. I was just.
Were you?
Skating. No, I'm not Deli. Salute to my brother Deli. He
Okay.
keeper.
All right.
I'll give y'all-
Yeah,
you
my
know what I'm
apologies.
saying?
I thought
But
you were on the
nah,
team.
Nah, it's cool. I never told Christian that, but you know, so like
I threw him out there. He didn't tell me that. There's certain people whose necks just grew 3 inches, nigga. They were like, "Oh, you hoop?
I was like, you hoop? I'm sorry. I was like the rapper friend. Like I wasn't the super like athletic friend.
Okay,
I
flex.
skated, rapped, and like I was doing other shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I wasn't like the organized sports type nigga, but like a lot of my brothers were like football and basketball and shit. And, like,
Okay.
and I just love sports in general, but like I let all of us be good at different shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm my passion is making music.
Right."
You know, his passion could be like football or basketball.
And that was a question though. So throughout, your different hats, when did you transition into hip hop? I mean, like battle rap for sure, but when did kind of
Sully
like
got
the
me out of
Dela
battle rap.
Preme persona really begin?
Sully got that. He got me out of battle rap. He got me to start making songs, and when I had my first show and realized people knew the words to my songs, it shit like changed my life, and it made me want to keep going and shit. And like Preme, that's a family name. My dad's name is Preme. My grandpa's nickname is Preme. You know what I'm saying? I'm the third, so like.
And the Dela, that just comes from your.
Yeah, I was
Your
kid. When
upbringing
I was
with
battling, I was Kid Preme.
Oh, okay.
That's hard.
I was Kid Preme, and then my brother Dodie. Shout out to my brother Dodie. He used to say like Preme de la Preme, like Creme de la Creme. And Preme de la Preme was too long. So I'm like, De La Preme sound fire.
De La Preme sound fire.
Yeah, so and
The
nobody
Preme
has
de
that
la
name,
Preme.
you know what I'm
No way.
Nobody does.
So Dodie's the first person that actually gave the name. He
Dodie
birthed
gave
the
me my
name.
That name is
And
all
then you
family
short-
shit.
yeah.
Dodie gave me half of it. My family, my dad gave me the other half. That shit is family name. Like,
Yeah.
That's
like,
crazy.
All these niggas have Premes for different reasons.
Right.
The Preme I recognize for real is like DJ Premier. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
He's the OG Preme. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's called Preme for a different reason than I'm called Preme. You know what I'm saying? And there's no De La Preme. That's just me, fam. And like, and that's how I got my name and shit. And
Right.
And it stuck. And once I did that, I started just trying to build up. I wasn't even thinking about branding the first like 4 years, 5 years. I was just trying to get my music out.
And you know what's crazy is all of those things that we just discussed, right? Your relationship with Sullivan, his ability to get you out of hip hop, your
battle rap,
to get you out of battle rap into hip hop, Wolfgang Doty giving you the name. All of these were organic moves that were made out of love. He had no intention of actually making your hip hop name or making the start of your brand. He was just giving you a compliment, and he was figuring out clever ways, because he was a clever person, to give that compliment to you, because it was out of love. You know what I mean? And that birthed one of the single-hand like pillars to your success. So I think that's so cool to kind of bring that back to the fact that every real decision is fundamentally rooted in fear and love. And as long as you stick to that shit.
You should move in love.
always.
You know, I show a lot of authentic, genuine love. The fake shit don't help nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah, like I remember the first time that we seen you perform. Fucking blew my goddamn mind. I'm like, shit. And then as soon as you got on stage, like, we gotta go talk to this. Like, you know, we leaked up.
That's love, bro.
And then
That's love.
I believe the next show we might have thrown, but we brought you on stage, or we're at least on there when you performed.
Yep.
Nigga, there's nothing like that
I think
fucking
it was like
energy,
a million
bro.
nights or something.
Yeah.
We were doing something. We
Nigga.
were all going crazy.
Nigga.
I remember that shit.
That shit was
fire.
wild.
What was that shit? Was that it? Joe's Grotto,
Joe's
nigga?
Grotto, yep.
Man, rest in peace, Joe's Grotto.
Oh, man. That's where, yeah.
R.I.P.
That was a
Joe's
great
Grotto.
venue.
Fuck yeah, it was.
It was probably one of the better, more sturdy venues in Arizona.
Yeah.
It really was. You always
Those
made your
were the
bread.
days. That's where I got my
You always
Arizona
made your bread.
foundation,
It was easy bread to
Always
make
made
it,
your
Joe.
bread, bro.
Joe never made it complicated.
Hell no,
He
it's
never skimped on the deal, bro. He just made it easy. You know what I'm saying? And towards the end, Joe gave the reins to the artists. You know what I mean? Like he really
never
let
tripped
you
on that
build
shit.
the show.
He was not weird with that shit.
He was like, "You want your own
Bro,
lighting people?"
Christian, you were my plug since being able to book through Joe Nigga at Joe's Grotto, nigga.
Man, that
this
was
man
fun.
right here.
And he was mine.
That's so fun.
Odd Squad and Justice for my
Because
plug.
You pay it forward, bro.
Yeah.
Niggas ain't haters. I think that like it's like it takes more energy to be a hater than it is to be cool
It
and
does.
supportive, bro.
It's like it's so
just
easy.
pay that love forward,
Like
bro. It's gonna come
the
back and
initial
bless you.
feeling, like I
Please.
mean, at least I feel
Authentically,
happy
though,
for people.
Don't just do shit for an outcome either.
Right.
You know, but authentically, you should be trying to like just pay it forward, bro. And that shit always, you never know when, but that shit always comes back.
And even now more in society, because it is a trendy thing to be anti things. It's a very trendy thing to be opposition and be, the other side of the table on something. So not only are we talking about just the natural benefits of being positive, but you stand out literally when you are genuinely positive.
And I'm real big on like be careful who you step on your way up, because like I would never like try to step on somebody like nigga you ain't shit, and just kind of like, because if we would have like even like been like too like uppity to like go up to you and been like, you know what I'm saying?
I feel
Yeah.
like, why the fuck them niggas do me like that?
Yeah.
Like, we could all just been cool.
And we wouldn't have been here now.
It's
like
tight that we don't even gotta go through that though.
yeah. And it's like we don't have like constant communication throughout the years, but we all like
because it don't even need to be all that.
yeah, because we know when it's genuine people, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to feel like it's a show, like, oh, I'm checking in on you, bro. Like, we see each other, and then like
100%.
everything worked out, like how it worked out through third parties for you to get the Joe's Grotto show. Now you're here on the fucking podcast.
That Joe's Grotto show is legendary.
Yeah, Joe's Grotto, those were the fucking days, man. I tell you.
The
That
flex
shit
was
so much fun.
2017?
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. I still be seeing memories on Facebook. From that.
Yeah, but
That was
we
fun.
met you there, and then man, your live performance is like there's nothing like that energy, and like you were saying, like you leave your fucking body. We're very much alike like that. Like out of all of this music shit, my favorite part is being on stage.
Oh.
Like
Absolutely.
fucking oh man,
I'm untouchable
That's
on
the
stage.
ultimate high. Like,
My
there's
persona on
nothing better.
stage, you cannot out roast me. You cannot out anything me except for like crazy weird physical things. Like of the mind faculties, when I'm on stage, when it's my time slot, when I'm there with Crazy or whoever I'm there with, bro, I'm sorry. Any crowd heckler, any situation like that, just for me, like I have that unlimited drip, like, and I genuinely believe it is not coming from me. I believe that when I'm on stage, it is a channeling situation.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of flowing an energy that's bigger than me, and that's why I can say with confidence, I'm unstoppable. Because it's not even it's not even from my own frame that this is coming from. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and it's like we talked about it on a couple podcasts ago, but like that performance is like the culmination of every single moment in your life. Like that is everything you are. It's all the music, like all the stories that you put into your music,
all the experience, all the confidence.
Yeah, every experience, and you're sharing it with so many fucking people. That shit's like the highest adrenaline rush that you could ever have. I feel sorry for people that don't have that rush of being on stage.
Bro. It'll come back. Hopefully. It looks like it's coming back, though.
Texas is open 1,000%.
So
they're the tester state. Shit, we are.
Texas is 100%. UFC is freaking the fuck out. They're like, we will go to Texas next week. We will make an event, build a 15-person roster, and go to Texas next week.
Yeah, I think
I'm
Alabama
ready.
is too. Florida's basically always been open.
Florida completely neglected COVID, entirely.
Didn't we neglect that shit too?
Oh yeah, when it first started for sure.
We complained a little. Yeah, we definitely complained, but nothing like Florida, man.
But it was supposed to be 2
Florida
weeks.
like kept their water parks open and shit.
Damn, they're wilding for that.
No, they didn't. They didn't.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. That's not a fact. That's not a fact. But I'm just saying, man. Like they literally did not care, bro. Like you at least see masks
That's
in
crazy.
public.
I'm like, wow, they what?
You at least see
Like-
masks in public. You don't really be seeing masks in public a lot in Florida, like especially in 2020.
I heard like people will look at you weird out there if you're wearing your mask
Yeah.
because they're like, "What the fuck, bro?"
Someone's
Freedom.
Someone's got to be sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking sheep. Fucking sheep. Fucking sheep, bro. Bad, bro. No, nigga.
Crazy. I'm like, damn, niggas, I just have to get sick.
Like, come on.
Damn.
With this Pharaoh, you have done it a little bit different. You know, a lot of people when they have clothing lines, they build up a certain level of inventory and they keep it at a certain spot, and then it's just mad marketing and advertising until you sell that, you know, batch of 300, 200, 100 out, and then, you know, you can kind of move forward with that. But what comes with that is a lot of time and a lot of, you know, meet me here's, right? So you've done it a little bit differently. Describe how you've done your clothing line.
I want to be like, I like the hype. I like being a part of like trendsetting and hype and shit. And I like showcasing like who I am as a person. Like, and I like making one-of-ones and shit that you can only get limited time. I don't like.
Right.
I kind of wanted to change my accessibility and like. COVID showed me a lot of shit too. Like I'm not gonna be able to be out at shows giving out the merch or, you know what I'm saying. A lot we couldn't even go out for a while, so it's like I'm not gonna put it in shops and shit, or nothing like that. But like we put the clothes out. We didn't know it was gonna sell out like that. That was our first fucking move together. That was a test.
And you did it like a pop-up, right?
Yeah, it's online pop-up until the shit's gone. You know what I'm saying?
So just you popped it up, no prior, this is coming, nothing like that.
We might have posted like a couple pictures on the story or something like, you know, but like
hints here and there.
Yeah, nothing, and then we just
nothing concrete though.
Dropped, and I hadn't dropped no clothes in a while. You know what I mean? So like, and the designs are crazy. Like Pharrell's mind, the way that he be bringing shit to life with like, cause we have a team of designers, but he's
I see you in the personal drip right now.
The head designer, yeah.
Yeah, that should.
Come on.
This is my Kasuma right here. This right here literally means frozen cactus in Japanese right here. So it ain't just like random Japanese on the shirt and shit.
Okay, flex.
Yeah, the frozen cactus collection is because I ain't never seen no frozen cactus. So like that's why I made this last one that I had dropped the frozen cactus collection and shit, and like just wanted to be pieces of us. Like this is obviously from Digimon. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, but like. It's a frozen. That's our Kasuma. It's the frozen one. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, we got the tire that's like key to the skirt that's still true to me all the time. You
100%.
know what I'm saying? Always got to tie it back to the skirt, you know.
I love that you took the car out of it because it's not about the car. The car doesn't make the fucking skirt sound. The tires do, okay? It's about the motherfucking tires. You don't need that shit. If you pick up a tire and move fast enough, you'll skirt eventually.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I hate when people put a skirt ad lib behind like an engine bar or something.
Yeah, come on, man. What part of
Say something about their muscles.
You don't know your shit. Yeah, you don't know your shit. And it's really cool how you.
Being skirtious right now, bro. Like, give me y'all comments skirtious right now.
You know what I'm saying?
Be skirtious.
Y'all gotta pay attention, man. Y'all drop some game. That was some game right there. People don't understand.
And it's really cool the confidence that is involved with the pop-up. I feel like you have to have a lot of confidence in your merch and what you feel like that's going to do to just say, come and fucking get it.
It's the fans, man, and it's like I don't treat my fans like fans. We all big ass skirt family and shit. So
Yeah, it's fam.
You know, our clique is the full speed family. You know what I mean? And that's because like we all very family oriented, and we want to bring people into it because we try to make timeless music that's gonna tap into emotions. I'm just not trying to do no quick shit or nothing. I'm not trying to be someone that's here and gone. Like I put my head like in my pen and my mark that I'm leaving with like how the legends are gonna leave their mark. You know what I'm saying? My goal is to create more leaders and shit. So like that's my ultimate goal. So it's not even about I guess what other people like chase. You know what I'm saying? I know what my purpose is with this shit. So like when they support us like that. Shit, we're gonna just keep going hard. That's like charging me the fuck up. That's like
absolutely.
It's making up for me not being able to do shows for damn sure because they still holding me down. You know what I mean? And like holding me down to the sense that like they're like.
I don't even know if I should pass this to you. You've been holding a blunt for the past hour and a half.
You throw it to Matt.
I'm just supposed
You trying to smoke?
these personal.
I feel you.
Yeah. Just take
As much as you can talk about, I do want to get into that financial literacy thing that you were talking about
Man, like,
earlier before we started.
We could just even touch on how important it is. Honestly, you know what I'm saying? Like I think that financial literacy is something that needs to be discussed a lot more. And it is. You know, if you look for it, you'll find it. But
yeah, absolutely.
it needs to be discussed more, like to the point where like in school it needs to be
Young man.
Like
If y'all heard the creaky door, it's because Kaleidoscope Kid just entered in from a Doctor Strange dimension
Hi,
that actually
buddy.
wasn't a door attached to the studio.
See you peeking
You know, actually, as a matter of fact, if that's your manifestation, why did you make the creaky door? Like, you could have just came in off like sliding glass or, you know, just like the normal gold circle.
It just fits.
Okay, I understand your personality. Yeah, it does a little bit.
It was the only door to enter this room in.
Right, he's like, I
This
came from a
place
cabin in the
indoors,
woods,
bro.
so.
Yeah,
this place indoors, man. Jesus.
That's so funny.
everyone is magical.
But it does, I was going to ask you how and what it takes to build leadership, and I feel like financial literacy is a pillar in that. And it's incredibly important because it's something that has been definitely sidelined and under showcased in
Oh no, it's been
neighborhoods
hidden
throughout
on
the year.
purpose. Like they didn't teach us that in school
On
because
purpose. They taught us shit. And I'm not saying all that shit was useless, but come on, nigga.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I should learn to
use
balance a
geometry
checkbook
every day.
before pottery.
I use geometry.
I
every
should.
day. You probably use geometry more than you think and don't even
Yeah.
think about it. Angles every day.
For sure.
Every day. You know what I'm saying? Even when you're throwing paper into the trash can.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You
Basketball.
feel me? You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Basketball, pool.
All day. Yeah, facts.
that's all geometry.
They kind of just gave you a super guidance system into the way to look at shit. You know what I'm saying? That's a high, you know, salute to them with that shit. But they should have taught.
But I took 2 years of Japanese.
That's crazy, nigga. What?
Do you remember any of it?
Yeah, Abuzuriana Aroba Gokujin.
What does that mean?
That's bitch ass nigga in Japanese.
Why would
That's a lot to say.
yeah.
It's because Japanese is a very humble place and they don't cuss. So like if you need to cuss, you gotta like Abuzuriona means rude woman. It doesn't mean female dog. Like that actually means bitch. Like that's the derogatory term. Gokujin is black man. Eroba is ass. Like actually ass.
I know what Goku is.
The smoke shop I work at is right
And
next
E
to
wakarimasen. Like I don't
I'm
understand.
not taking classes with him.
That's
His-
it.
His name ain't intellect for no fucking reason.
That's it, man. But you know what I mean? Like I would have much rather learned about a W-2.
Isn't it
Yeah.
crazy how they'll
Like,
teach
much
you,
rather.
They'll show you and teach you so, especially with music and entertainment, right? They'll show you and teach you so many ways to spend your money, my nigga, but they won't show you all these ways to save and make it though. Why? Why wouldn't you want? And here's my problem. Like, if I was like running some shit, I want everybody in my like country, city, wherever I can like affect, like and like give influence to. I want everybody to have the most money possible, so we
Yeah.
can just keep getting stronger and spreading out more and contribute more. You know what I'm saying?
Look what happens when the knowledge of money gets to the public masses. We have huge shifts in company marketing and unpredictable things in an environment where they have made millions off of prediction. You know what I mean? Like when you can upset the balance, it's just a matter of awareness.
And that's what they don't want to happen is upsetting the balance. But now,
Right.
like, everybody is aware of this shit. We're aware of, like, just as much as, like, financial literacy, like, mental health is being, like, pushed out there a
that
lot
might be
too.
the most important thing
And
in
that's
life.
the biggest thing.
Mental health is
Like,
the most important thing in
because
life.
if you're not even mentally healthy, how are you gonna get your finances
A lot
right?
of people don't even want to face their traumas, man. It is not fair. Like, because you can't move on in life unless you face that shit and realize how to deal. You know what I'm saying? Because mental health is everything. You won't be able to do shit if you're not like at peace.
Yeah.
100%.
You won't be able to do it to its full optimization. Like, you won't be able to put 100% into anything until you get over that shit. And like, you know.
And the crazy thing about that is you'll never even know what 100% is for you. You know what I mean? The people that get locked in that, they're like, I'm fine. You're like, you're not fine. You've just coped
You're
with
never
60%.
fine.
That's all you've done. Like, all you've done
see,
is
this
just, you are so, and it's like, and that even in itself is an ode to you. And an ode to your resilience. You wanting to be happy so bad, or even muster a certain point of normalcy, have found a standard and a quality of life at 60%. That's an ode to your resourcefulness. But you need to focus more on other faculties of your presence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like your drive and your will. You know what I mean?
We've just on this podcast, like, I know you're aware of yourself. You've worked on yourself because we broke down all the shit like people don't talk about. Like, people especially like won't open up to other people about. Like, so it's like, how many people are just keeping that shit in and not that aware of, this is why I think like this. These are the things that I have to change. Like, even at like 16, 17 years old, or just learning from that now, like, what did I do wrong? Because there's some people that are still stuck in that same mind state that you left.
Facts.
And you know what? I want to challenge what you said earlier, because you made a comment on us, like, you being stuck between those two worlds of Brophy and Glendale. And the way you moved through it was you just kind of stayed busy within itself, and you didn't really have time to think about it. I want to challenge that, man, because I think you was a bigger person. I feel like you were actually internally reflecting as you were going about that time, because you can't be aware of the things you're talking about now without having a buildup of internal reflection. You know what I mean? And I think that might have been what saved you. Because personally for me, what I've realized, it doesn't matter where the fuck you're from. If you're authentic, you will be accepted.
Bro, because
There's
people
certain individuals that are just assholes and pricks in any environment, and they can be weeded out and stomped out. But ultimately, as a majority in any society, if you are authentic and 100% yourself, you will be not only left alone, you will be accepted and rejoiced around.
It's society. I'm glad you said it. It's society. Because it don't matter what you do. That should just be something that you do as a person. Because you don't know whose life you're saving just by being yourself. Yeah. Like, you can be trying to be like everybody else your whole life, be so lost in the sauce. How would you feel if you're trying to be like this other nigga and the whole time this nigga didn't even know who the fuck he was?
Yeah.
Correct.
It'll fuck you up. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, so think about what you like take as influence and what you take into your spirit and your energy, because like, you know, you don't have to even be this close to somebody to take in their energy, positive or negative, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's all about what you.
How do you filter that energy while staying as busy as you are?
Just came with learning, bro. Learning what I don't need in my life and what's gonna hurt my family. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It's kind of being a little cutthroat almost to certain situations.
It's like there's shit that I used to love to do that I can't do anymore because it's just stupid as fuck to do that shit when you have so many people depending on you. And it's not fair to them because they can't change their life and make themselves straight. Like, nigga, it's on you right now.
Yeah.
And as men, we don't got that luxury of being able to fuck around like that. And the ones that do, that's cool, but you're just making it harder on yourself and your life, you know? And it took
You're postponing a lot.
You are. And it took me going through, like, shit and having to, like, fall on my face and, like, have to, you know, face the consequences of the decisions that I made when I was younger and shit that still affected me when I was grown and shit. Mm-hmm. I'll go back and check that nigga like, chill, bro.
Right.
A lot of these niggas you're trying to impress and shit, it don't even fucking matter. And like, you gonna have people that are gonna hold you down in different ways, and you gonna realize a lot of this shit didn't matter for real. You like, we don't even like own these streets. Yeah. Our name ain't on that shit. I will own the streets though.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll get
But like, especially once you get a family and you like actually have, you know, like a good woman by your side and shit, it kind of makes you realize. It made you realize like nothing's worth like,
please,
for
man.
real.
And can I just say, I want to be the first person who owns real estate on Dela Street. Like, that is, I need to have a 2-story house. All right, bottom half is a studio.
Man,
on Dela Street.
I always wanted
love
to
it,
like
nigga.
build like a cul-de-sac for my family and
That'd be
like gate that
fucking
shit
hard.
off. You
Gate
know what I'm
the fucking
saying?
cul-de-sac off?
Yeah.
That's some boss shit.
That shit, like,
That's
you
some
know,
bullshit.
it's our
Hey,
street.
would you live in Akon City?
That's some boss
And
shit,
then-
right? It's like, nigga, hey.
And we're talking about having underground
real?
tunnels
We
and
know
shit
none
to
of
each
y'all
other's
live here.
houses.
I know everybody who lives in this cul-de-sac. Who are you?
Yeah.
No, because it's my family owns every house in this cul-de-sac. This
Yeah.
is our
You
cul-de-sac.
don't see this.
I know it's kind of hard to understand because there's about 120 houses in this
Exactly.
community.
I
But
built this.
But
You
we
want
know.
you want the stair with the two with the gate and the lifter uppers with a nigga
You want
sitting
this?
in the booth who you gotta talk to, be like,
Yep.
what's your name? All right, hold on a second.
yeah,
Who you come here to see? All right, you good.
he said, "How do I not know? Oh, because you weren't at the barbecue last Sunday." Every house that you see here right now, some representative of that house was at the barbecue. You were not there.
We're gonna make this
You
shit
don't know-
happen. It's
Nah, for real.
Where does your grandmother stay, sir?
This a capsule, right? Exactly.
Where does your grandmother stay?
Right, where does it stay? Because we all know that shit in here about each other. You know what I'm saying? It's a big trust thing going on.
Yeah.
Here.
So
Nah, for real, like, and that shit's gonna really happen because I feel like I hope it happens for more people. And I hope if you holding down your hood, I hope you about to buy property in that motherfucker, bro. I hope you
Yeah.
about to be building something that's gonna benefit the kids and shit who don't have a chance to who don't even, they can't change their life yet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Give
If
them a
you
better
don't
chance.
take anything from Nipsey Hussle and what he did, at least take that. You know what I mean? Build within your community. If you are planning to stay in your community and you've made that decision,
then own that shit.
then own that shit and take pride in rejoicing in that community and doing things to build it up. You don't have to be Nipsey and sell multi-million-dollar records and erect shops in other people's nature, but literally volunteering time at another person's shop or, just taking up a job, taking up money, at another person's store or, posting up flyers, help promoting, whatever. Everybody has that niche within themselves. And if you can imbibe that niche into your community, you're doing something.
Yeah, and I feel like
You're doing something bigger than yourself.
Like anybody can be the one. It doesn't matter. Like that's what you were talking about earlier. Like how it's hard for you to take compliments and shit.
Right.
I'm like that shit too. Like I'm just a fucking normal person. Like I was on live. And I started,
Right.
for the first time, I started bringing our fans in while I was going.
I don't think
And they're
I'm
like,
normal.
I'm getting nervous and shit. I'm just like, I'm just a dude. Like,
I don't think I'm normal.
right,
I think I'm rare as fuck.
right. I feel that.
Think, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that through life, I'm mastering the art of communication, but that's like what a real Mac is and shit.
Right.
I'm learning to put myself in people's shoes so I can seek understanding instead of just trying to make people understand where I'm coming from. And that shit. Maybe I don't know. That's why I call myself Glendalian, bro. Maybe I was just sit here to leave something for everybody.
I feel you.
Straight.
I feel you on that. Not
Cause
normal.
you're not
'cause-
normal, bro. Y'all,
Yeah.
you're literally in a clean call the hospital. Look, check this out, bro.
He said, check this out, bro. Let me break this down. Let me break something down.
Don't
with you."
ever call yourself normal ever again, man. I know what you were saying. I know the
Yeah.
feeling. It's like you're saying
I'm just a
I don't-
human
I don't-
being, I'm like-
yeah, I'm not.
But
trying
you
to,
are
you're
a
not trying
rare
to step
individual.
on nobody. You don't look down on nobody. It's like, bro, I breathe the same air that you do. I know exactly
Yeah.
what you're saying. Like you're real. Like, bro, I'm here with y'all. I'm not above y'all. I'm here with y'all.
Yeah, exactly.
But the only difference
But you
between...
far from normal, gang.
Yeah, and I understand that. Too.
I feel like the only difference between normal and rarity is embracing the rarity within you. That's all it is. Because all of us, the only commonality that we have in this world, there's a lot of other commonalities because we've expressed that and, we've communicated, but the biggest commonality in this is that we've embraced our rarities and ran with it.
Yeah, it's
And
like
we
that
were
Benny the Jet shit.
unapologetic within our expression of these rarities because we knew the magnitude of the contribution that it can make. And every single person on this earth has a rarity within themselves that could be a valuable commodity to anybody who comes across with it. And it's a matter of identifying it by loving yourself and being real and honest with yourself, and then having enough unabashed fucking oomph and guts to do that shit.
Yeah, and
You
being
know what I mean?
okay
And having a
with
good
to
unit
carry
around
that
you
weight.
to grow that.
Because
You know
it's
what I
not
mean?
easy.
When you're around a lot of people who are the same way, like being around all you guys, it just reflects how we use it, how we build those, and how we cultivate that. So when we look at everyone else, man, okay, I see them doing it, and it allows us to help build it. It's like the iron sharpens iron.
No, that's facts. That's big facts. And it's good to be around people that aren't like you.
Right.
Because like then you're able to really see like how the world is.
100%.
You put yourself in this box and you're only seeing the same shit all the time, bro. You're hurting yourself because that's not what your life is meant. You're meant to like soak. You're meant to learn and like so you can actually give something back to you. Like you can give something to this shit.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm
All
saying?
you're doing is building up a skill set so that way you can contribute back to everything else. You know what I mean?
How are you gonna contribute to this race? Are you gonna contribute to our species like within your community, within your family? Within yourself, you know what I'm saying? Are you gonna at least make the most of this shit?
Right.
Because like a lot of people don't even get to live to be even our ages, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you don't know how much time you have here. So what you really about to do with that shit? Like,
and even the poorest people that you know right now are experiencing a level of financial stability that most people throughout history wouldn't have even fucking fathomed. Wouldn't have even fathomed. And I'm talking about the motherfucker that you seen on the side of the road with a sign. That man has accrued more wealth in his time than most people throughout history would have ever dreamed of. So like it's an incredible opportunity that we're all in, and it's interesting, man. Like we and of course we can all talk about that within the bubble that we've created, but it's a matter of the fact that we can fucking talk about it because we've created it. You know what I mean? Like
you just gotta just know what you doing this shit for. Hopefully it's like however you do it, because you know everybody's gonna get it their own way.
Right.
And like I said earlier, like who the fuck am I to judge anybody how you do your shit? But like, just make sure you're giving something to this, or at least to your family or something. Otherwise, like, you know, make room for the motherfuckers who are trying to do that shit.
Right.
Don't clog up space. It's like, we out here, bro.
Be efficient. You can even help with the efficiency of things. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
But
our heart is in this shit. Like I die for music. Like
facts.
Fucking, there's not many things.
Absolutely.
Music in my family,
heart,
man.
bro. They can't take our heart, bro.
And the biggest thing about it is like everybody like when you have a skill set, say you like guitar, or you're a rap artist, you do graffiti or whatever the situation is, you have this little defeatist thought that comes into play that is just like, well, 1,000 million other people do this. And it's like what you fucking lose sight of. That's that little prick in the back of your head that likes to give you fake fucking facts to have like draw you away from whatever goal or path that you're on. You know what I mean? That's the same nigga that tells you to watch Netflix instead of doing curls, nigga. Like, that's that nigga, bro. Like,
why do you want to even do curls?
You know what I'm saying? Like, why? Yeah, what's the purpose of that? How many activities do you do that you just do this for?
The show is number 3 in the USA.
Like, come on.
Fucking watch it.
No, but people get so lost in that. People get lost in just the activity, and they say, "Oh, well, my passion is guitar," but so many people do guitar. But guitar is just the gateway that you are using to present yourself in whatever situation to continue the manifestation of things. Because like
exactly what it is.
it's like yes, Kaleidoscope Kid, for example, is incredibly musically inclined, which has allowed himself to be in this atmosphere. But we are all experiencing changes within our lifestyle and the way we make decisions if you're around him, not because of the music he makes, but because of who the fuck he is. His music allowed him to bring his presence to us. His presence is what we are taking to build ourselves on. The music is just a really cool fucking side product, but it's already created. We can't really take much from it other than like, oh, I can maybe try that. But you get a majority of, I'm going to try that through the conversations with this man.
Yeah, and it just...
Because you build genuine inspirations within yourself. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying like he was a part of you singing, but like you didn't really sing like that until Kaleidoscope came in. That was all a part of you.
Yeah, right.
But maybe just being around the influence of that situation built a new chapter. So it's just, it's a cool situation for that.
It comes down to the reflections thing where it's like certain people you trust enough to put down your walls that you built up over time, and you meet someone where you're like, damn, like, and it's like when you break it down to like the extreme of being in love with someone, where it's like you meet someone where all your walls go down, and now you're in the state of love where every food tastes better, time is different, all this stuff.
Yo, this nigga scope is spitting right now.
So then all that person did was reflect back to you that capacity that was always within yourself to be in the state of love. And so when you meet two people who can come in love together, but like Kyrie was that for me, where he came through, and I remember I trusted him enough, and I talked to him. I knew where he's coming from, and he would use auto-tune on his vocals, and I was like, fuck that. And then I was like, oh, you start using auto-tune and singing and shit. You know, he really broke down that wall for me.
He
and allowed me
opened
to see
that
that
door.
part of myself.
And it's like everybody can affect you like that.
Exactly.
Like going back to like
Exactly.
Snow and Nubs, like maybe like you were saying, like
That's
just
so
learn
cool.
experience. Like we're our type of personality is like drawn to other people. I got to learn. Like they're the complete opposite of anything I could ever be. So let me get really close and see, like, get that perspective. And I learned so much from them, like, more than music. Like, anything on music, that's cool. But, like, personally, like, I had a lot of shit, like, that I was dealing with and, like, anxiety, like, not feeling comfortable with myself. And there's so much living within themselves. I'm like, how could somebody, you know what I'm saying, from the outside looking in, I don't know what I would do in that situation.
You're the youngest member of our squad, aren't you?
I'm the oldest.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
My mind's blown, guys. I never knew
But yeah,
that.
That's dope.
The things
I
we
thought
seek
Nubs
are
was
seeking us. It's so crazy.
And what I loved about Odd Squad was my question about Factor was kind of what kept my initial intrigued about Odd Squad past the skill. You know what I mean? Like, I saw them on stage. I initially liked their music, so I was like, this is fucking cool. Like, it's cool to see you guys expressing yourself and doing your thing and being so brave up there. But I was like, but what's this nigga doing here?
Yeah.
This nigga is completely albino. Facts. Get it. You know, when you talk to him, you see he's got thick frames.
What he's saying right now,
You see...
I thought the same
That's
shit.
how
You
everybody.
see, this is how everybody takes it.
I'm like, what the fuck?
You see Nubs.
man.
What's odd about this nigga?
How you just
Don't
get-
you fucking ride these two niggas'
Yeah,
coattails?
bro,
What are you
what's
doing
up?
here, bro?
But then you hear rap, nigga, and you hear what he's talking about.
And I'm like, okay.
Because you're transparent with your music, bro.
Exactly.
And that goes back to what I was
Exactly.
saying before, being yourself, you don't know whose life you can save doing that shit.
And when you have a
know what I'm
conversation
saying?
with them and you see how... Because I feel like you've grown a lot to be brave in your vulnerability, and it's allowed a lot of people to exude that trait within themselves. Namely myself, 100%. I feel like I've taken that from you a lot. You know, I can kind of bear myself a lot more to people and just be like, yeah, that's definitely what happened.
All
You know what I mean?
three
And just
guys,
do that.
Like,
But, like...
it's like, don't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah, your
Exactly.
oddity was
You know what I'm
internal, and I
saying?
think that was the cool, because it brings the full circle. You know what I mean? Because Nubs' oddity is surface, but Nubs couldn't be more confident. Nubs couldn't know himself more. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I kind of feel that same thing with Snow. You know, and like, and I think that's so fire. And like, you couldn't know yourself more now, but that will always be a part of you and who you are. And I think that's such a beautiful piece that Odd Squad needed, man.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
I had to add like I said, like I was getting at, like I'm like no different. Like
wild.
anybody could be, like we're all odd in our own ways. We all are fucking different people. So like when you look at me, I want people to ask that
Everybody
question.
is.
Right.
Every person on this
Exactly.
planet.
Right.
She'll say, yeah.
Even
Everybody
down-
is.
Damn, bro, you're a hella important chapter to Odd.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that really until like just now.
It's
There's
crazy
so
that we
many
even
levels.
talk-
Because you want people to ask you, wait, why are you in this group? And then it's like,
Nigga, I've always wanted to ask you that.
and you know what's funny?
I'm glad it was like
He could
this,
just
though, face
ask.
to face. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, bro, but I've known because of the music too. But I was like, man, like, so like, how did that even like happen? You know what I'm saying? And as you guys see, this is like a conversation amongst brothers and shit. It ain't just about like one of us and shit.
Yeah.
Niggas have a real family partner.
Yeah, so I
don't
just
get
met
lost
them in a
sauce,
fucking...
guys. You know?
Yeah, I was about to say we
Yeah.
go through topics
Yeah,
quite
don't get lost in the sauce,
quite
guys.
slippery.
It's
You know what I mean? I try to keep it linear and I'll try to bring it back with different signposts, but
Yeah.
for the most part, it's about the vibe and the connection, man.
it's
Because
just a
we
fucking
have a lot
conversation.
going on.
Yeah, but you're the oldest, bro. That's
Yeah.
so fire.
And we're at pivotal
I did
points
not
in our
know
life,
that
man.
shit. I really thought Duz was the oldest.
No. Like he's the leader, man. He was the one that built this shit. So like we basically follow his lead. You know, I lead in the background. I do my thing. Like mostly with the music, I try to guide more. But like the only thing I don't like when people say is like, "What's wrong with you?" And because there's nothing wrong with any of us. Like nothing wrong with any one of us. We're all perfectly fine. Odd. We all have our own oddities. And
Anybody
does.
who phrases it as "what's wrong with
Yeah.
you" is looking at it as a gimmick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, what the fuck people
They're
wanna
looking
say?
at it as like a Barnum and Bailey shit. They're like, okay, I get your fucking angle. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Blue Man
It's
Group, I
fucked
get it. You
up
know what I
that
mean?
you
Like,
think it's like an
you're blue.
And
Like, I get what
because
your
I'm there,
fucking MO
people
is.
take us more seriously. Because, like you're saying, if it's just them two, it's like, okay, I get it. And people might not even give the music a chance. People still don't give the music a chance just by seeing us anyway. But like having like one, so it just begs the questions. It's just more curiosity to the whole Odd Squad family. And those are my fucking brothers. Like I knew them like for a couple years before I even like officially joined. It like only made sense like for me to be the third member, fourth member. So we had to make it happen, man.
It's family shit. It wasn't like you just, hey bro, can I be in your guys' clique? Hey, I rap too, man. All right, man. No, this
Yeah, exactly.
It's my brother for real.
Yeah, and they were just getting started, so I like showed them the ropes too, like help them develop. Yeah, we needed each other.
Y'all pieces of that shit, bro.
And then we got Matt, and then we got
a culmination.
It takes a team to win a fucking championship, bro.
It does.
It takes a lot of pieces. You take one piece out of a car, the car won't work.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
I love that this is a reoccurring thing that has been happening throughout this pod a lot because I'm building a project with my brother 21 called the Hercules Effect.
Hey, I was 21.
21 is very, very good. He's big chilling right now.
License 21. That's that man.
He's man. Hey, AKA also mainly known as Coach. You know what I mean? He's developing the Coach moniker, and he's really in his bag right now, man. Big shouts out to him. But we're building the Hercules Effect, which is the idea of a project that is about teamwork, and the idea that Hercules was one of the most known figures of, valor and battle and, all of that. But it was really about the team and the journey throughout those 12 labors. You know what I mean? And speaking of projects, I hear through the wind. As a matter of fact, I was meditating on the top of a mountain, and a man with long gowns approached me. His beard was about the length of his gown, and he looked at me and he said, Preme.
This nigga segued that shit so crazy.
And I knew at that moment in time I had to bring you on for some culmination, right? We talk about the culmination of people and how it takes a team. What's your team been doing lately, Preme?
Yeah, y'all about to see a flood, man. It's crazy. A biblical proportion.
He said, I called Luke and John and they're hype.
Yeah, it's a rap, you know what I'm saying? And I don't drop music unless I've been through some real transition or unless I've learned a lot of life. That's why
you found a new plateau.
Yeah, I don't
It marks chapters. You have to
project,
have something to talk about.
Yeah, all my albums are it's all it's storytelling. It's chapters in my book. Rise of the Black Lion, Skirt Day. Skirt Day is right when my mom died. You know what I'm saying? That's why Get a Life was on there. That's still one of my biggest songs ever and shit. There's people to be tapped in off. It's crazy how any kind of person likes.
That was one of the big. Get a Life was one of the pillars. A Million Nights was the first pillar.
First pillar, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because I was feeling like that.
And then
I'm like, nigga, I've been doing shit forever. What the fuck?
And then
you know what I'm saying? I feel like this shit's never go in.
And that energy fucking came through.
And if you've been to a Dela Preme show, everyone would say Get a Life is the next pillar. Get a Life is not the next pillar. Audi for My Whip is the next pillar. Because if you knew Preme in his performance days, Audi for My Whip was the next song that if you did not have shoelaces, don't be in the fucking vicinity of that stage. You will never see those moccasins again. Ever. All fucking Crocs were lost during those performances. We almost had to put signs up, lace up.
Better hope you had sock shoes on.
Lace up.
With
about
laces.
20 minutes into this set.
Facts,
It was a very serious situation.
Reminisce shows again. And then so after Skirt Day, I dropped Quarantine Preme. And I was just teasing 7 new styles that I've acquired. I've been in the hyperbolic rhyme chamber and shit. So I was just showing off 5 different.
The hyperbolic rhyme chamber.
So
For those of you who
Fucking style bending.
let that easily blow over, I wasn't gonna let that happen.
So I was gonna throw some tensions, just let niggas know, throw some tensions out. And then what's up? We about to right.
Are you still casting?
Yep.
Oh, my bad.
No, you good, fam.
It's a little action.
Yeah, that's action.
You casted.
Yeah, that's the big man.
Hell yeah, fucking
Action running timetables.
right. So I always want to transition into chapters of my life where I've learned and went through some shit that's so I have more to talk about. You know what I mean? So and I'm always learning and shit and always soaking and learning different things that I didn't even know I could do and shit. Sully pushes me a lot. Everybody around me does. All my producers do. All my homies that I make music with. We all push each other and shit. So now I'm about to drop Stay Busy. Stay Busy is about to drop in April, and it's gonna be a lot more styles, a lot more. I'm bringing all my anthems back because you know I like to make anthems.
Oh yeah.
I like to showcase my lyrical abilities. Y'all gonna see a lot of a whole like. I always spit though. That's not one song where I don't drop knowledge and spit some stupid crazy.
That's very true.
My style's hella unorthodox. Like it's not like people you can't really follow my rhyme schemes or no.
Are you gonna bring a lot more of your tonal harmonies through?
Yeah.
Because you displayed a little bit of that in Quarantine Preme. If you ain't running,
Hey, so listen to every switch, bro.
that shit was hard as shit, bro.
Man, yo, me and Sully took a trip when we did, like, literally took a trip, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, and
Yes.
that shit, you know what I'm
Got
saying?
a ticket in my backpack.
For real, and
Where
like,
do you go?
we unlocked that shit. Auto-tune is hard, man, but when you find
Yeah.
your voice, what's tight about that shit is, like, all of our voices are different. So, like,
Yeah.
I have a very, like, I know it's kind of nasally right now because I'm getting over this dumbass cold that my daughter got from the daycare, but, like,
Stay busy.
Stay busy. That's why I have my personal bleezy accent shit. But fucking, I have like a real like scratchy like type of voice and shit, like raspy ass voice and shit. And it's my voice, so like the tones I hit and the way that I like only I can hit those notes. You know what I'm saying? So like me finding the vocal tones that I have and shit, man. Now I'm like I unlocked a whole other style, nigga. That's like the singing shit be like ultra instinct.
That's what I've been doing. Like we'll have to show you some shit.
You don't even gotta use as much words.
Yeah.
Right.
You just gotta create the frequency.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? And like writing those songs is fire.
The singing is ultra instinct for real.
It is, fam, bro.
Because it's really just vibing out your artistry to the nth degree as you can at that moment.
Rapid fire, like you always want to show people your bars, of course. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But you can get safe in that pocket.
And I feel like
that skill set, your mind can get used to that pattern of thinking and build really good structure to get efficient at that pattern of thinking, but that doesn't mean that you're good at other forms of display.
And unlocking the singing fucking and unlocking all those
and be open-minded to even go into some of them.
Hardcore just straight if you just want to go bar for bar, like that's gonna make it better.
Because like we can just snap in and out of that shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I can't. They're talking as if I'm a part of this group. I sound like Cookie Monster when I put myself on a podcast. I mean, when I put myself on a track, so I'm gonna stick to podcasts. I'm gonna stick to rapping. I'm gonna stick to that hip hop shit because, and I'm figuring it out. You know what I mean? There's certain tonal things that I'm actually working on
like
right now.
You definitely have to get to some.
I'm in the beginning
of rapping
stages
before you get really comfortable with the singing. Like,
correct.
I've snapped off. I know I can do it. I'm comfortable with it. Like, and then it gets to the point like, what's next? This can't be my only artistry. Let me see what I'm more capable of. Start singing. I'm working. I've been writing songs with Josh on his folk album. Like, that's completely different from hip hop. Like, and even like
folk.
It's
even like trying to sharpen your
folk.
pen.
Like in the 1940s, you listen to this when you ran away from prison. You know what I mean? When you're deep in them fucking wheat fields. You know what I mean? Yes, 100%.
Josh is on that level. Yeah,
them old brother art thous. You know what I mean?
But even just trying to sharpen your pen on that type of shit, like
that's a new bag.
It brings it back to you'll get better at rap. Like, cause my passion more is just writing more than like rapping. I'm not like a rapper. Like I love fucking writing. I could write. Like that's why, like I hate that. I don't hate it, but I know what I represent. I'll never put myself out of that. Like, so I can't. I know I can make a fucking club song. I make trap songs like super easy. That shit's fun. You know what I'm saying? I just made a fucking trap in like 15 minutes. That shit was dope.
Right.
But like for A-Factor, I would never like put out that shit. Like, but
it's not part of your brand.
It's not part of who I am. Not my brand. That's not what I want to represent. But the writing part is so much fun to be able to tap into all that shit and like have so many different styles. So if like I could become like a fucking ghostwriter, that's what the fuck I'll do. But I still obviously will still have my own shit.
You heard the man. Hey, hit up A-Factor for the written.
Yeah, man. If you guys need some pens.
Come with the contracts though. You ain't playing about that shit.
But yeah, that's just going back to singing and trying to unlock more styles. It's gonna make your rapping better. Like,
absolutely. What do you think about Stay Busy that you're especially proud of?
Just how like authentic and how like well thought out all of the songs are. Like it's just showing that I'm getting better and better, and I love that shit because I don't ever want to be stagnant or like just cling or stay in pockets like you said. I like that you said that shit. Like there's a lot of pockets, and like you can feel safe in those and shit. I'm not I don't ever want to feel comfortable.
Different rhyme schemes, different tone pockets that you just want to stick with.
Feel comfortable.
Yeah,
What the fuck?
it scares me. I get I can't do it. It gives me bad anxiety.
The air is too calm, motherfucker.
Nah, like that.
And right about now, the Avengers are gonna bust through and cut my head off. I'm not with that shit. You know what I mean? I catch me making breakfast.
If I'm comfortable, that means there's someone out there who's working harder than me right now.
Yeah.
And then they're unlocking other styles, or they're mastering their respective styles and shit. Like I'm just like, we all, like I said, like we all underdogs. We all like still coming up and shit. And like I know I have a unique niche and unique like market, like unique fans. You know what I'm saying? They're all very transparent and shit. And I hope that everything that I make continues to be like something that you can attach to emotions at times, and I hope it gets you through shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's what I feel like makes timeless fans and makes real legends in this shit. And I'll always make sure when I'm dropping projects that you see like that growth from like my last one. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter how much time is in between. I don't feel pressure to, if I don't drop some shit, I'm gonna fall off. I don't think like that. Cause like,
You literally can't. In any form of artistry, whether you do hip hop, whether you paint, whether you fucking do speeches, like
all it takes is
you
one.
can't think about that.
You just need that one, and if you keep on working,
it's gonna happen.
Come. Yeah, and 100%. I used to have that paranoia about like, fuck, maybe my time's up, and like we were talking about, like there's no timetable on the shit. Especially when we were younger, it was like. Nobody wants a 30-year-old rapper. Once you reach like 25, like the industry stops looking at you.
100%.
Now it doesn't.
There's so many myths that are wrapped around that window. It wraps it right back to the beginning of our conversation. There's so many myths that are wrapped around the idea that you have this certain limited window of time to bring your peak happiness in life, and after that, you've left that window, and now you're just in this purgatory until you die. That is a fucking myth that was dragged on by our parents that we are cutting off at the head. Like, I don't want that shit around me.
You have to do that shit to yourself, though. Like, you can take on any influence. You can take on all these different, like, energies and, like, opinions. And, like, you can watch people and then put yourself on a timetable because you're watching somebody else's life.
Right.
What was behind the scenes to make that shit happen for them. And you will fuck your psyche up.
100%. It's all about the moves. Like, the state of Arizona shows that right now. You know what I mean? Deli Every Day dropped a song every day for a year in 2018 and didn't necessarily get the static and the approach that he would have liked. Now he's on ESPN. You see people like FTK Khalik, who had a really good lyrical standing throughout his entire presence in Arizona.
Khalik's been dope in multiple
generations, bro. And right now he's reinvented himself and is allowing his artistry and he's allowing his humbleness as a person to keep entering into different languages and different scenes and not necessarily cloak himself into that scene, but kind of puzzle piece himself into that scene. And like, big shouts out to him. He understands the idea that I've never even met him, but I like his moves. I've been very observant to him. He understands the idea that it's not about a certain window of time. It's about what are you doing? How are you presenting yourself? And how do you feel about yourself?
Everybody's getting
in that moment.
Like, and if you really pay attention, you'll see everybody who's moving. There's so many people like, and I'm like, there's like a lot of people who like, I love the fact that like, I can hit them up. You know how dope it is to have like a lot of your favorite artists. You can actually hit them up and talk to them about songs that they made and like find out where their head was at when they doing that shit and like
exactly
be able to really cheer them on in real time and show like real support and love and not just from like a distance and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And, like,
New Age Politics has a album review that we do on a weekly basis. We stopped doing it recently because we really started getting in our bag with creating music. Yeah. But the last album that we did was And Then I Cracked by Emmett Dupree, and that was my submission into the New Age Politics.
Emmett, bro.
And I got to,
brother, salute to Emmett, bro.
I gotta hit, and I gotta talk to Emmett and like,
Emmett
give him my breakdown.
Emmett, those two
are incredible.
Watch them niggas. We already talked about Dela. Like, we can talk about everybody who's moving. What you should take from this is you should pay attention. A lot of people in Arizona are moving on all aspects, from the street artists, from the artists, from like.
And when we say moving, it's not necessarily just like, you've heard that phrase. If you've been in Arizona or really any local hip hop scene, you hear that phrase like you hear this is Piff in the weed business. But we can actually start talking about numbers.
No.
This is not a play busy situation.
Every generation is going, even the ones who are older than us, bro. It's so crazy because like. You won't see every move, but that doesn't mean they're not being made. And don't ever get it twisted and don't get lost in this sauce, man.
Thank you.
Don't be late to the show. being the motherfuckers that are hating on our state but want to be here, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and don't be afraid to hold your shit down. Be proud of where the fuck you from. I'm glad there's so many artists that hold down their hood and where the fuck they from. That makes us look good, bro. Every single that shit make us look good. You should.
It does.
You should hold down where you from. You should give something back to that shit. You know what I'm saying?
And every single person that is coming out of there, I don't care if you necessarily agree with the way that they go about their music. It's not fucking about that. It's that person making a solid representation and claim. Are they like fucking touching kids? You know what I mean? No, cool. Support they ass. You know what I mean? Like, are they a shitty person?
Heavy extreme.
Crazy. That
Bro,
I think it took such a left right now. What?
Bro, I'm being like, obviously
what?
that's an extreme. But you know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah, I get
if
you.
they're not a shitty person, then support what they're doing. You know what I mean? There's so many different voices and so many different identities within Arizona. And the more we can embrace each other, the more we can move forward with this shit. It's not a fucking, you know what I mean? Like, cool, talk shit about anybody. Don't talk shit about anybody on the LA Lakers. You know what I mean? Like, people have a fan base like that. We need to be that way about Arizona. Like, okay, yeah, he different. You know what I mean? Like, okay, yeah, I don't like that. Cool, but like,
I don't think there's any state or
it shouldn't be
anywhere where everybody fucks with each other.
no, not at all.
No.
Not at all.
This is
And I'm not saying fuck with each other.
This is not like the Justice League.
I'm not saying fuck with each other.
We all on the same team, whether we all like support each other or not. Just go hard. And
We can be copacetic though. We can be political about this shit. You know what I mean?
Always, but you know, people are gonna do what they do, bro. You can't
Big
control
facts.
what nobody does. You can't control how nobody leaves. Like, no, you just can control how you react to everything. You control how you move. That's all you can control. You know what
Well,
I'm saying?
hopefully, and the beautiful thing about specifically Arizona
we create
is
more leaders out here.
Yeah,
So
we
I'm
are.
saying,
The
my
beautiful
shit be
thing.
consistent. When I talk about, and you can like look at all my interviews from like 7 years ago. This is like maybe it's just like
you always been putting on for
this time because
everybody
that's what the fuck I'm supposed. Maybe that's what the fuck I'm supposed to do. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And like being a hater is weird, bro. I've never had that shit in any like speck of my DNA. It's weird, bro. Somebody else's light don't take from mine, bro.
Right.
You ain't doing what I'm doing. You know, nah, bro. I don't do what you do. We all killing
Right.
it. And I hope we keep killing it. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what I was
Like,
going to say. The beautiful thing about Arizona specifically is all the artists that we highlighted, Deli Every Day, Emmett Dupree, FTK Khalik, you know what I mean? Like Merkham's, all these people that we highlighted right now, they all are supportive of other artists. They're outwardly and outspokenly supportive of other people getting that bag. You know what I mean? And that's a beautiful thing.
It's like a warrior respect, bro.
Yeah.
You know
It's
what
like
I'm
we
saying?
understand. We've been in the trenches. We're fighting with each other.
We all respect each other's styles, bro. You know what I'm saying?
And we all bring something
You don't
different.
gotta be extra. You don't got, you know what I'm saying? You don't, like, what's understood is understood, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like, even if you don't, I won't be mad if they don't support me. Your fans, you shouldn't be trying to look for artists to be your fans. You should be. If you're blessed enough to meet people in your field that you get connection with and you can soak from and you can chill and have conversations with and you can like all learn from each other and support each other, that's a blessing. Appreciate that. Don't be out here looking for that. That's weird. Don't go out here looking for that. And don't be mad when other artists
'Cause
don't
people
hold you
see
down.
that.
That's exactly.
Yep.
And if you gonna be mad at a local level that motherfuckers don't fuck with you, what the fuck you think gonna happen when you get up out there? You gonna be mad at everything? Like, no, nigga. No. That's not what this is about, bro. It's about being who the fuck you are.
He said law of averages says people aren't going to fuck with you, bro.
I mean, and that's true.
Like, come on, just be, and just don't turn your back on the people that were here with you when you didn't have shit. When we were all coming up together, and like, you don't owe nobody shit. Nobody owes you shit. You know what I'm saying? But like, don't be out here looking for that.
Yeah.
You gonna get your feelings hurt, and then you're gonna be bitter about something that you were so passionate about, and then be out here speaking about how fucking fake the game is and shit. No, if you choose to be with fake people and make fake moves, that's gonna be the fake part of the game that you in. You know what I'm saying?
There's no scene.
You make your decisions. You choose how you move and shit. You choose what you choose to like bring into your energy and around your people. Especially if you're a real leader, you know you make the decisions for a lot of people. And it goes back to like our original point. It's bigger than us. People depend on us. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't think that like. I think some people get too caught up in that shit and it don't matter, bro. Like, it don't just keep doing you, dog. Why you shouldn't care about that shit because come on, bro. Who cares, nigga? A lot of people don't know nothing about no Arizona music, nigga.
Yeah.
Get your shit up out
Just
here.
do it for the people you love, the people you really care
Right,
about.
exactly.
Do it for your
Then
passion.
you'll find people who genuinely love you. And wouldn't you rather be around those people than trying to force relationships with people who don't really want to like fuck with you like that and shit? And I'm not.
It's way easier.
Yeah,
The greatest
like-
gains that I have had in this music industry have come from situations that were absolutely effortless. effortless.
And that's how it should be.
Relationships
if you're trying to, like,
that, you know what I
force
mean?
yourself, like, then
Right.
it's
Shouldn't
most
be
likely
trying to-
not even gonna work.
Like, I just want to
Like this shit was butter. You know what I mean? Like my relationship with 21 was butter. When how I met you, and you know what I mean? Like rapping about the job. You know what I mean? Like,
cook real fish for us.
Yeah, that nigga's crazy.
oh
with
bro,
it.
get out of here. That wasn't the first time I met you though.
But let's go ahead and wrap this up. We could talk fucking all day.
Yeah, we
It's the
could.
it's the longest podcast probably.
It might be.
Yeah,
I
It's a
don't know.
good one.
Yeah,
I don't even know what the
this
time
fucking
is.
Great. Yeah.
we good, yo. Cause
Well, yeah.
we are free.
We'll go ahead and cut it
Stay
off. 'cause
Busy
we could
drops
go
in
for-
April. Stream Dela Preme on
sir.
all major
Pop
platforms.
some merch, man. I got another drop coming out on.
Yeah, because
20th.
you see the shoes.
March
man,
20th, we got another
I need
pop
that
out.
hoodie.
Got you.
I need that hoodie for
See?
sure.
That's fire.
The hoodie's wild.
Yeah, we you know.
Yep. Stay
Press
busy.
sticky.
Don't play busy.
Drink your water.
Drink water. It's a form of self-love. Don't forget to love yourself. We love you guys. We'll see you next time.
Yep.
Peace.
Yup.